Dun-dun. 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 Dun-dun.
Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and someone who owns way too many plastic robots. It's too late. Random review is about to begin.
Before I begin, thank you very much to Verdant Range for being a loyal patron over at patreon.com/TJOmega and pitching in just a little bit to keep the channel going. I thank you very much for your support. Let's talk about sharks. So it's not Shark Week, unfortunately. That would have been timely, but we are going to be talking about the original shark former of Transformers, that being Gnaw, the favorite goon of the Quintessons. Gnaw is weird lately. It seems like ever since Cyberverse, we've just been getting more and more Sharkticons of various sizes, and you can have entire schools of these things now. But we've never had one that really matched up to the right size and complexity that we expect from our traditional deluxes. They've been Legend Scale, they've been Warrior Class. We finally have a Gnaw that is not any of those things. And I'm happy to report, unlike the Warrior Class, it's not just an upscale of the Legends figure. We actually have a completely new Gnaw. So let's take a bite out of him. I apologize. So, looking at him, he is the big plastic meatball I kind of expect. He looks like a mad ball come to life with legs. And that's exactly what I want out of my Sharkticon. He looks like just this big pudgy thing that is in no way a shark because, of course, limbs. But what he does do, he seems to be doing quite well. So we look at him, he is mostly comprised of gray shades of plastic with some blue poking through. The feet are painted because those are molded in gray. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot of paint on him because it's all focused on the face and the head. We have his signature bright green eyes done in metallic paint, some lavender going all the way around his jaw, silver for the teeth, more blue paint for these little horns. They're not in the right spot for horns, but they're things. And then little hits of red right down here on the lower lip, and one right here, the crest on the head. So yeah, that's where all the Sharkticon's detail lies, is in that cranium, and that's kind of what I would expect. He's a Sharkticon. Like, that's kind of what their focus was, just big, gnashy, mawing teeth. So this is exactly what I was hoping for. To look at him further, he does have some interesting colors mixed in here because, well, we can kind of see that's his robot mode parts. And it's not too distracting. Luckily, I think it blends in well enough. Doesn't really distract too much. And then the parts that are dedicated to him, we have these little arms here, which are articulated. They can move forward, and they do have an elbow joint, so he is posable in this mode. Looking more at the face, we notice that the robot mode head is acting as a serrated tongue, so he's kind of like a cat in that way. So it's the weirdest kitty you've ever seen, but hey, whatever. I've seen weirder. And yeah, the jaw moves up and down. That works. And then, because these are basically just his robot mode arms, they have all of the articulation that you would expect out of those. Also, the joints are nice and firm here, so he actually does stand up on those legs rather than resting on his belly. Now, the joints come loose at some point. His belly does hang low enough that you could probably just lay him flat there and not notice. But for now, he actually does have some stiffness and some articulation. Also, the tail also articulates because it's pegged in, and it has a hinge down here. So you get, actually, like, considering he's just this meatball of a Transformer, you actually do get quite a range of posability out of him. It's actually kind of surprising. If we want to arm him up a little bit, he does come with his signature weapon, or at least the weapon his toy came with. Plugs in right there on the side, so he can get a little bit of firepower. It looks kind of goofy, but, you know, as long as you can use the accessory, you know, why argue? If you are in a war that is, 4 million years old, you'll pick up a gun any way you can. So, for now, we're going to leave that off of him. He doesn't really have any 5mm ports for mounting anything else, unless you want to take off his fin, in which case, there you have one at the top. So, if you have any other weapons from any other characters you want to plug into his back and arm him up, that's an option. So, the transformation is the big talking point here because, well, after the Legends class did an okay transformation, they just copied it for the Warrior class toy. And it's basically just the same figure but bigger with a weird spinny gimmick. Here, no. We've gone completely new. So, to start the transformation, we're going to pluck his tail off his bum. And we don't really have to do this part right away, but I just like to straighten those out to get them out of the way. We're going to open up his back like so, and that's going to expose the robot mode legs that we can now flip out. When you transform him to Shark, they seat on these little pegs here, so make sure those are connected before you make the final closure on his shell. We're going to flip out the heels, and now the parts that surprised me. Now flip this down out of the way, and then rotate that entire piece 180 degrees. That's an interesting little twist. I didn't expect a transformation joint that was that complex in a figure like this. We'll go ahead and flip out the hands now. And from here, it's mostly just straightening up. This peg, that peg goes there. So fold them all the way up. Make sure it's okay. We're gonna clarify this because this is clear. There's two pegs. There's the one that's connected to his fin, and then there's this one. You want this one to go into the hole. So make sure it goes all the way up. It seats in there completely. The jaw of the beast mode goes down like so. The arms don't really have any place to go. You just kind of like fold them down and get them out of the way. And then the head, just make sure it's going to tab in when it's in the tongue mode. Just tab it out. Raise it up a little bit so he can look over his own mandibles. And like so, you're going to have yourself a completely transformed Gnaw in robot mode. Lickety split. Very, very simple transformation in ways, but there are tricks to it that really do surprise and impress me, and I quite enjoy them a lot. So I'm going to give it, just because a few parts of it are like really quick and easy, I'm still going to give it a pass. He's an enjoyable transformation. I like it. Looking at him in the robot mode, he does stand rather short for a deluxe. Let's see, do I have a good comparison with me? Okay, let's see, it's completely out of frame, but you can see compared to a Voyager class toy, he does stand a little bit short, and that's fine. Sharkticons were really short in the movie, in the cartoon. I would not expect him to stand shoulders above any other Transformer character outside of Bumblebee or something, but he stands pretty much where he's supposed to be. He is squat and rotund and on the short side. Perfect, in other words. I'm going to bring him in so you can see the detail of the head. He's got those green painted eyes in there. They're really sunken in on him. Really sunken in. And looking at it up close, it looks a little off, but from the front, it's fine. Looking at it from the side, he looks a little odd. Like one of his eyes kind of vanishes. It's the weird way that they set them in. That might be a little bit distracting. Other than that, he looks nice. He is about what I would expect out of a Gnaw. It's a nice head sculpt. I'm very happy with that. So to look at him again in the robot mode, he does do a lot of stuff, right. He makes for a fairly clean silhouette. The only thing that's really junk on him is the top of the shark face, and that's pretty much accurate to how he's supposed to look. So I'm not really terribly upset about that. In fact, that's correct. He should look like his head is about to be eaten by himself. That's basically your rule of thumb on Gnaw. And that he accomplishes. And besides that, yeah, he looks very clean. I like how the shell forms this nice fluid back to him. He's got those arms that don't really do anything, but hey, besides that, spot on. I don't really have any reason to complain. Beyond this, let's see what we can do. So I guess we can check the articulation level. Oh, by the way, yeah, all the sculpted details in there, including his abs. He has the Galvatron-esque abs, which I guess is just something a lot of 86 movie Decepticons did. Unicron had abs too. Something about abs, with evil abs were a thing in the 86 movie. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So, we look at the articulation level. He has a ball-jointed head. It's very stiff on mine, but it does have a full range of motion. It does move up and down, but I find that mine has to be up a little bit just to make it beyond his teeth, just so I can actually get a good looking pose out of him. Universal shoulder joints, always welcome to see. Bicep rotation all the way around, a little bit beyond 90 degrees for the wrist, for the elbow. No wrist articulation, no waist articulation, because that's how the transformation works. Good range on the hips, though. He has a nice range. They do kind of get obstructed if you go too far out. Luckily, he's not a ninja, so the poses are not going to be too out of this world. Thigh swivel works all the way around. He gets that 90-degree knee bend. You do have to watch out a little bit. He has that transformation hinge, but you can also use that for articulation if you so choose. And then the ankle tilt, which he has those floating ankle things. So he looks a little bit odd when you do that. So he's not quite as articulated as Deluxes have been recently, but for what he is, yeah, I think he makes a perfectly passable Sharkticon. I don't really find too much to fault him in that. We can go ahead and arm him up, plug in the gun, and then plug in the mace. I'm going to assume he shoots right and bludgeons left. But, when you get your Sharkticon, you decide how he fights. I am happy he has both of his traditional weapons, though. I mean, if he didn't come with his tail weapon, that'd be a little bit weird, I will admit. But hey, if you so choose, equip it to your cup and have him bludgeon all of the Sharkticons you will inevitably buy, because, of course, this is one of those troop builder toys that a lot of people will buy as many as they can just to have their entire school of Sharkticons ready to go. But I don't see a big problem with that. He's quick and intuitive to transform with a couple clever tricks. He is decently articulated for his size, and he is spot on accurate to how I would expect a Gnaw to look. It's the best one we've ever had, and considering we've gotten a bunch of Gnaws lately, that's surprising. Of course, maybe not surprising because they were all in budgeted waves, and this is kind of the first time they've been able to go all out on him thanks to Studio Series. But, my friends, that is my opinion on Studio Series Gnaw. He is a very, very nice figure with some clever tricks, a little on the simple side, but if you're building for troop building, if you're buying tons of these things, you don't want a complex transformation that's not fun to do. You want something you can bang out in 30 seconds and get your entire squad transformed without having to cancel your plans for the afternoon. In that, I think he does really well. And I think it's about everything I would expect out of a Gnaw. Outside of a Masterpiece, which Masterpiece's pacing will be at about 40 years from now, I don't think we're going to get better than this. So if you find it, buy it, enjoy. He's worth it. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.